Welcome back to the channel, guys. I am the Drunken Goth. Now, being a classic and supercar mechanic, I have worked on a fair amount of very rare and very obscure cars. So today we are going to be taking a look at some of the favourites that I've got to work on and drive. Now, my true favourites are always going to be my own cars, no doubt about that. But today in this video we're going to be focusing on other people's cars, the customers' cars that I've got to work on and drive over the years. So we start with the Ferrari 250 TR Recreation, which started off life as a Ferrari 250 GTE. It was stripped down and modified with 250 TR bodywork throughout. It still retains the Colombo V12, which we all know and love from such as the 275 and the 250 GTO. And this thing is amazing to drive. The handling is amazing, the sound is amazing, the trumpeted carbs sound awesome, the exhaust note is brilliant, and the customer who owned it used it for racing in the Pirelli Ferrari Classic race series. Now, if it was the genuine Ferrari 250 Testarossa, it would obviously be worth in the millions. So this was a very effective way of getting exactly that kind of car for a fraction of the price, but to be at this level of detail is an absolutely astonishing achievement, and it is an awesome car. It's an absolute head turner, and I cannot fault anyone for doing this. It's a brilliant piece of automotive engineering, and I loved it. I absolutely love driving this car. Next up we have the Porsche Carrera GT. Now, while I didn't get to do much work to this car, wow, I mean, what a car. The power, the handling, it's just absolutely unbeatable on the road. I loved every second of taking this thing out on road test. Now, obviously with my own cars, I am a Nissan fan predominantly, and Porsche and Nissan have always had a rivalry, especially with the Nürburgring times. So I was very sceptical about this, but I mean, I cannot fault it. What a car, really, what a car. Next up we have one that needs no introduction. I'm sure all of us had a poster of one on our bedroom walls growing up. It is the Ferrari F40. Now, I have got to drive quite a few different examples of this car, and again, it is one of those that always leaves a huge smile on your face. It is such a raw car. There's no driver aids, no ABS, no traction control, nothing like that. It is literally just a boatload of power straight onto your right foot. And while, yes, you do sort of panic every time it steps out and every time you try and put the power down and the wheels start spinning, I cannot help but class this as one of my all-time favourite cars to drive. Such an experience, and at some point I will upload some of the videos detailing some of the extensive works I've done on the engines of some of these cars. Next up we have more of an honourable mention. Now, I've worked on a lot of Maseratis, and I'll be honest, for the most part, a lot of them I'm very unimpressed with. But the Maserati Gran Turismo S, that takes things to a slightly different level. It can be refined, it can be a normal everyday car that you can plod around 30 miles an hour, happy as Larry, absolutely fine. But then when you press the sport button and the exhaust valves open, you feel the suspension stiffen up, and you really can have some fun with it. It's got a really balanced ratio of power to weight, it's really balanced in the way it handles, and you can just have a lot of fun with this car. It's one of those you can take out, you can really have a lot of fun. Next up we have the Ferrari 599. Now, I was a fan of the 550, I was a fan of the 575, so this car had a lot to live up to, and my god did they step it up a level. Absolutely awesome to drive. From a naturally aspirated car, the power you get, the power delivery is absolutely phenomenal. The gear shift, absolutely brilliant, the way it pops and bangs on the downshifts, absolutely amazing. And this is how a Ferrari should be. Big V12 up front, power to the rear, absolutely what it's all about. Next up we've got the Lamborghini Murcielago. Again, it's another one that I've driven quite a few different examples of. and obviously by far the best one is always going to be the LP670-4. Now, although this is a very fun car to drive, always turns heads, I will say you are very aware while driving this thing of how wide it is and the fact that you are absolutely filling the lane of the road you are in. Now, they do handle well, they do stick to the road well, being a four-wheel drive, but the majority of the enjoyment from driving something like this comes from the power delivery and the exhaust note. There is no sound in the world like a Lamborghini V12 as it starts to scream. Absolutely amazing. Next up, we've got the Supercars C8. Now, this is a car that I didn't really get the opportunity to do much work on, but did get the opportunity to road test. And the majority of the enjoyment from this car comes from how basic everything is. It is very much like driving a go-kart on the road. That's the best way to describe it. Not a lot of people know what it is. It still turns heads, it still sounds great, but again, the majority of this just comes from how basic and how raw everything is about it. Finally, we come to the Nissan GT-R, the R35. Now, again, as a Nissan fan, it would be remiss of me not to mention this on my list. Obviously, I adore my R33. The R34s are great, I've driven quite a few of those as well, but the R35, they really have gone all out. It really does handle well, it's comfortable, it's quick, the cornering speeds are insane. I absolutely love this car, and with it coming down and down in price now, it's such a worthy investment. It's such a fun car to be in, and it is a true supercar. There is no doubt about it, it is a supercar. Whereas the other cars on this list are more collector's cars, investment cars, things like that, this to me is a true petrol heads car. This is a car you go out if you want to drive a car properly. Absolutely amazing. Well, that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, then please like, share and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye bye.